everyone, welcome to Dating and Development. If you know who I am, it's me, Mama Luigi. Before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, share, so all the good stuff out of the way done first. Please, babe, thanks, love you. Different type of video for today. Practically all about life lessons, really. They're in no particular order, but these are things that I've learned in my 25 years in this God-given earth, says you. And one of my first lessons is satisfying everyone but not yourself. This is a bad thing to do. You can't satisfy everyone, or you should not go out of your way to satisfy everyone, because if you're putting everyone above you, then what's left for you at the end of the day? And I was mad for doing this when I was younger, especially up to my early 20s, no mid 20s, but up until 21, 22, maybe 23. But it was a case where I would put everyone in front of me before I could help myself. And yeah, while it felt good helping other people, ultimately I wasn't getting it anywhere with my life. I wasn't getting anywhere at all. And it came to a stage where I wasn't really working on myself, wasn't working on my mental health, my body, physique and that. I kind of felt crap. I felt bad about myself. And it's saying that my anxiety issues started to rise because I felt like myself that I wasn't getting anywhere and all these other people were. And you're going to go out and satisfy everyone. They're going to take you for granted, which is another big thing as well. In taking you for granted, they're going to come to expect that you're going to be there to help them. And that can't be the case, because it's not your mission to save everyone. Which is another point I have, I'm pretty sure. I think. Oh yeah, it is. It's not your, and yeah, that goes to my next point as well. It's not your duty to save everyone. Every person you come across, if they're in trouble, it's not up to you to save them. It isn't. Because you can be putting in extreme mental effort, you could be putting in a lot of physical effort, resources such as time and energy, money, everything, and they could, oh yeah, thanks, bye, and they leave you, they go. And it could be a friend, it could be a girl you're dating, it could be a girlfriend, or it could be someone you're seriously with or end up marrying. And you could come across them thinking like, oh yeah, I can save you, I save everyone I meet. No, it can't be the case, because the only people that can save them is themselves. They have to help themselves. Of course support can be there and everything else in place for them, but it's not your duty to save someone from themselves. It isn't, because it can ultimately come back and be thrown in your face. And also, when it comes to like relationships and everything else, it's a huge red flag if you're getting with someone who is, you know, on antidepressants a lot of the time and everything else, because it might become expected of you to try and save them. Or a girl with a terrible past, her family, or something happened to her, you could think it's your job to save her, but it isn't. They have to get, and it goes for guys as well, they have to get them the help they need. They have to do it themselves. And if you're constantly going to be putting on yourself on the line like that, then what happens when you get into a bad state? Who's going to help you then? Because you're helping all these other people. Wouldn't that be a law of reciprocity? Is that how you pronounce it? Reciprocity? I can't pronounce it. But reciprocation, more or less. Then you're going to expect those people to help you. And they might not. Maybe one or two people will support you, but a lot of those might not. And that's not something you really want to take for granted. Another big thing that I've really learned is that people are here to either stay or to be a lesson. And I think this is very true. I have friends, but people who I was friends with aren't necessarily in my life anymore. We've gone in different directions. But there are people who want to stay in your life will stay in your life, and they will support you, and they'll be here for you when things get tough. They'll be someone to talk to when you're down or anything like that. And I know I can say that for a lot of people who, when I was in really bad bouts of anxiety when I was younger and really putting in the effort to nearly delete myself, there were people there extremely worried and everything else. And it was a very dark time in my life that I try and save myself and not rely on others to save me, because it's not fair. And it was my problem really at the end of the day. And those people are still in my life. Now maybe one of them's not, because that was an ex-girlfriend of mine. But look, she was wonderful in her support, don't get me wrong. But the friends who were there to help me are still there, even though we don't talk as much anymore. But usually when we meet up, we carry on from where we left off last time. That's what we do. And yeah. And they're going to teach you a lesson. That goes for girlfriends and that as well. You could love someone, or you could be enamored with someone in a relationship, but things aren't going to always work. That doesn't mean you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. But they're there to teach you a lesson about yourself. They're there for growth. They're there to help you learn something about yourself you didn't know before. Or maybe they're there to help you, I suppose, how would I phrase it? To take action when needed. So say, for example, you're really adamant not about having toxic people in your life, okay? And say you have a girlfriend who comes in who ends up being extremely toxic. She could be there as a lesson to say, I say no to toxicity. And then you break it off from there. And then you go on, and then someone is going to come to her place who will, value you and see you as a high value person in that, if you're providing, you're working on yourself and everything else. Another one I learned, big thing, stand your ground. Stand your ground. If you have a belief that, for fairness or things like that, stand your ground. If it comes to an argument and you're trying to be made feel bad and change your opinions in that, stand your ground. Now obviously you can compromise in some things, but if you know you're right in something and your gut is telling you you are right in something and you can feel it and you know it, don't back down and change your mind, because that's going to make you look weak. You've got to stand your ground. If someone tries getting at you, even in the workplace, and they're trying to bully you or they're trying to get at you or something like that, stand your ground. Tell them, no, F off. Really, it's like, I'm not tolerating your crap. You have no reason to be talking to me like that. I don't talk to you like that, so why are you doing it to me? If you keep at this, I'm bringing this up to higher management. So honestly, be in your best interest to stop. I'm here trying to work with everyone else and get along with them. You have no reason to be like this to me. You gotta stand your ground. Even in arguments with your girlfriend or whatever the case may be in a relationship, or someone you're dating, if they express that, like, oh, you should be doing this, like, no, I hear your opinion, but this is what it should be like. You have to be the leader in the relationship. But then again, with modern society and women are told to be very masculine and chase their dreams and everything else, masculine women and masculine men don't gel well together. They don't. And then when you have one man standing his ground and one woman standing his ground, there's no way that there will be any sort of yin and yang created, because it's two yins clashing against each other, or two yangs clashing against each other. And a relationship like that is not going to work, because someone has to lead in a relationship. They do. And if you're going to constantly be in battling your wife, for it, not in a gladiator battle, mind you, with a broadsword and a net, and maybe a kitchen cooker, but in the sense that if you're clashing over things a lot of the time, then that relationship's not going to work, because you're both in your masculine. Someone has to be the leader in some sense. So stand your ground. Don't be afraid to stand up to people. Don't be afraid to let people know what you're thinking. You got to be honest with them. If you don't like something someone's done, tell them. Just do it. And if they kick up a massive fuss over it, so what? It says a lot more about them than it does about you. One of the next things I'll have is you'll be rejected. And it's necessary. Rejection in life is necessary, and it's going to help you grow, but rejection is fundamental. It is. Because that's how I see rejection in different aspects. When it comes to jobs, so to speak, if I get rejected from a job that I'm interviewing for, to me, I have the mindset of, okay, maybe that place is not suited for me. And eventually I'll find somewhere that is suited to me, to where I will thrive and where I will grow. And you got to get those rejections because it thickens your skin as well. And I know men are rejected a lot more than ladies are when it comes to relationships and that, or it comes to dating. But men, what I've learned is that you have to take rejection on the chin and just move along with it, because like jobs, that's saying she's not suited to me. She isn't. And when it comes to rejection, you know, timing has a big factor. How her mood is, where she currently is in her life. Maybe she has interest in you, but just doesn't want to get with you at that specific moment because she's going through some stuff. But if you're rejected in a long-term relationship or whatever, where your girlfriend ends up breaking up with you, as I said in one of my points, you take that as a lesson. You take it on the chin, feel to heal, and then move on. Keep going. Because rejection is necessary in order to grow. It's fundamental. And the more you become accustomed to rejection, the better you're able to handle it, and the more resilient you will be. So therefore, it's not beneficial, but it is necessary as well. And just because you don't get a job one place and you keep getting rejected one job after another, don't give up. Just keep going. Amend things. Amend your CV. Look up interview questions to where you're working, whether it be in a gym or at a coffee place or in a school or anywhere. Look up what kind of questions they could ask and pitch yourself properly to them. It's about having those skills of persuasion, and that has to come naturally from practice, but become resilient in the eyes of rejection. Another one, I'm almost done, mind you, is that you can't live life fearing the unknown. When I was in my 20s, as I said, I had massive suffering from anxiety, and that really stemmed with not getting over the grief of my father's passing properly, and I let that fester. And what that kind of led to was me fearing the unknown, is that I was anxious as what was going to happen in the future, because I couldn't tell what was going to happen. I didn't have that clairvoyance going on. And I went to, therapy in that for it, and I ultimately came to the understanding that, look, I can't control life. I can't control what life is going to do, but the one thing I can control are my actions, my behaviors, and how I'm going to react to a present situation. That's what I can control. And you can't live your life in the fear of the unknown, because that's not a life worth living then, is it? Now, I get with the beer bug and everything else that we can't live life as you once knew it. Maybe at some stage in the future we will again. But it's a case that you have to go out and live. You can't let this fear of not knowing what's going to happen next stop you. Because you got to ask yourself, if you were to be deleted tomorrow, were you happy with the life you lived? Obviously you can't really tell because you're gone. But if you have that last state of consciousness before, Pac-Man sound of losing a life, you can ask yourself, am I really happy with the life I lived? So go on with that as well. Three more actually. You have to give your life meaning, find a purpose, do something that makes you happy, and love doing it. Because there's a big difference between work and passion. If you go into a job you don't like, that's called work. If you go into a job you love doing and doesn't feel like, it's not work, it's passion. Big difference between the two. Find a purpose. And even if you can't find your purpose now, try out different things. Do things you like. And if you can enjoy doing those things, then try and make money off of it. Do something you love. Because not only will it raise your self-confidence, not only will it give your life meaning, but it'll make you a lot happier in the long run. Because what would you rather do? Do something you love or work in a 9-to-5 job? Or do something that makes good money but you hate doing it? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. I'm doing things as of now that are hopefully and will lead me into a better lifestyle and everything else. Not that I have a good enough lifestyle as it is, but elevating it more. Elevating it more. And that goes into my next point, which is constantly learn. Keep learning new skills. Do not become stagnant. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep improving your skills. Learn something new. Learn how to cook. Pick up an instrument. Learn how to understand women. Learn more about your purpose in life. Do something new. Keep going with it. If you're constantly learning something, that's going to feed into your purpose of life, because that's going to aid where you want to be. It's going to aid in the development of your goals. It's a constant cyclic process of self-continuity. You keep on doing it. You get better and better and better. Once you master it, find something else. Keep getting better and better and better at it. Once you become sufficiently capable and competent at it, keep going. But those skills you learn will breed competence. That competence will breed confidence, and you'll feel a whole lot better about yourself. So learning and having your purpose in life, they go hand in hand. So constantly learn and be in your purpose. And my final point is, think for yourself. Think for yourself. Do not rely on the internet scientists where they'll watch 2 YouTube videos and make a feckin' thesis about why tea bags are actually contributing to the global warming crisis. What are you going to believe? Don't believe everything you read. Listen with your eyes. Think for yourself. Trust people's actions. Words are cheap. Anyone can say things. Trust their actions. Believe in their actions. Think for yourself. Research. Don't rely on the word of other people, because that's just bias. Educate yourself. Think for yourself. Think critically about things. Don't become your average Joe who's going to believe everything that they come across. You don't. It's like a situation, for example, with my mother ages ago, where she was going onto Facebook and she went, "Ah, son, pass me my debit card there." She's British, right? It was a terrible British accent. I was like, "Why?" "Oh, it just says here I want a free iPad." It's like she thinks she won a free iPad by putting in her debit card number. She typed in Facebook wrong in the search bar. So, that kind of goes to show, don't believe everything you come across. Listen with your eyes. I know it'll hurt at first when you do, but once you develop this sense of awareness of the world around you and you can think critically for yourself, yes, you might pose some sort of unlikeness, that's not even a word, which people will really like, but you can see things for what they really are and not living in some fantasy world. Think for yourself. Critical thinking is not that hard. Learn how to do it, or just think things through. Ask yourself questions. If it comes to dating, you can ask yourself, okay, is this going to make me more attractive or not? No. Perfect. What can I do instead? Or if someone's saying something, critically think about it. It's not that hard to do. But look, those are my 9 life lessons I have so far at the age of 25. I hope this was a nice listen. Something different anyways, other than talking about whamming. But until next time, take care, God bless, stay safe, be better, and if you would really have the honor of pressing that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And also on my podcast, make sure to rate me too. That really helped a long way. We're over 1,000 listens anyways on my audio, on my streaming services for podcasts, which is fantastic. Let's keep getting that number up. Until next time, this is Dating and Development, and remember, just don't be afraid and keep going.